Welcome to another episode of Velocity Chaos!
Welcome to the 29th episode of Velocity Chaos Podcast. Coming at you at the speed of sound. We are on the air in the Hexapod Sound House in Cleveland, Ohio. My name is Nick, and I'm here with my excellent, fantastic, fabulous co-host, Luke.
Thank you for having me, and welcome back as well. Here we are with our awesome sound board producer extraordinaire, DJ Autocorrect.
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah. That's how he keeps it nice, fresh, clean, and easy. Oh, yeah. I'm ready for this episode.
Here at the Velocity Chaos Podcast, we explore the highest heights of human knowledge and the lowest depths of crude humor. Our mission is to tickle that pink thing between your ears, poke that frontal lobe, or sometimes just smash the laugh box. So hop in, buckle up for an infotainment ride across the airwaves.
Oh, yeah, and this is all fresh and new. So if you guys wouldn't mind giving us a follow on the Instagram at Velocity Chaos Pod and on Facebook. Also drop us some stars on iTunes, some love on Spotify, and toss us a sub on the YouTubes. Get some videos up there if they work. Thanks again, always and forever for your support. Let's do it.
So, Luke, my friend,
Mm-hmm.
you ever been to a party?
Once or twice.
Cool. So I'm sure you've met some new people there. You've at least heard them over, talking. You're kind of there with your root beer, kind of like moseying into a group of people, and they're talking about something, right?
Oh yeah, eavesdropping is my game.
Nice. Well, one of our new segments that we're introducing to the Velocity Cast podcast is called Party Knowledge, and our hope is to equip you and me and DJ Autocorrect and all of our listeners. Just educate them a little bit, give them a little party knowledge.
I like that. That's that just brings me to think
Period.
of Wayne's World 2.
Nice.
When they meet up with Aerosmith. No, not Aerosmith. Is it?
It's
no,
Alice Cooper.
Alice Cooper.
That's Wayne's World 1.
Yeah, Wayne's World 1. Sorry. They blend
Party
together.
on. Party on.
This guy know how to party or what?
Yeah. We're not worthy. Well, today, party knowledge, just in case you're at like a frat house or a toga themed, kind of one of those sexy ones, our party knowledge today is going to be about Constantine the Great.
Keanu Reeves, Constantine.
Constantine. Exactly, that movie. No, this is about the real Constantine, the Roman emperor. So I'm just gonna run through some things.
Hit me with
but I'm gonna just start it off with I was in York, England, and York has a lot of history with the Romans just because it's up north. There was a lot of Vikings up there, and it kind of like has a really big, important part of British history. And there's this statue there of Constantine at the place where he was like crowned emperor in York. So it's like 4 hours north of London, right? It's really funny because he's sitting there all kind of like suave, and there's this giant sword, like, he's just got it on the pommel.
That's very suggestive.
Yeah, very suggestive of the times. No, but it was just funny because we went on a tour and somebody was telling me the story that some homeless guy like stole the sword like 10 years ago or something like that. Or 20 years ago. Just like it was missing. And then he like wanted something from the city government, and they like gave it to him, and then he just put it back like on the pedestal of the statue.
Yeah, that's kind of hard to conceal.
Yeah.
Where do you put that?
No, it's like a 4.5 foot sword. It's huge, massive. Anyway, there's also like this old Roman pillar that like is commemorating kind of that area, and it used to be all these Roman ruins that's now kind of this modern city. So that's where all this came from. So let's get into it. A couple hot facts that you're going to want to know about Constantine the Great. He was born in 306 AD after Anno Domino, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't even know.
Aneus,
yeah. All that Latin.
back when they
shite.
spoke Latin.
The Latin shite. His dad was the emperor before him, right? And so what happened was he was like this general in the army, really beloved by all the people. He was functioning in Britannia, like that's where he was governing and kind of helping keep the peace for the Roman Empire. And then all of a sudden, his dad dies in 306. Not 306. His dad dies, and essentially he was crowned right there on the spot. And all his men were like, this is great because he's the greatest leader in Rome, blah, blah, blah. But then what happened was like a civil war broke out, and Constantine basically had to go around and kick a bunch of other people's asses to become emperor, which is typical. But
Constantine the Good dies, before Constantine the Great.
Constantine the Good he was Constantine the Average, and then he became Constantine the Pretty Good, and then through a couple of wars he became a champion.
Laid the big sword on the table,
exactly.
And he's like, no.
Yeah,
I'm great.
I am the great.
How do you become the great? I'm sure we'll get into how he became the great. But not to divert, but like Alexander the Great, to be known thousands of years later as Constantine the Great, Alexander the Great, Luke and Nick and DJ autocorrect the Great.
Greats.
Like that's going to be great.
We'll get into that. I think getting that moniker, you have to do some great things. By the way, I was wrong. 272 is when he was born. 306 is when he was crowned emperor when his dad died.
Hey, if you're at a party telling someone, they're not going to fact check unless
they should. 272 guys. Put that in your brain. Born.
Hold on. From my recollection, I believe it was 272.
Well, you can be that guy now.
Yeah, I can.
You're just there with your root beer on the outside of the circle, and they're all talking. 306. Actually,
this guy know how to party.
I don't mean to interrupt, but we're all doing Keanu Reeves now.
Yeah. Constantine.
I'm just gonna do this whole episode as Keanu Reeves. So 306, crowned in York, in England, which is way far away from the seat of Rome.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But that's where he was stationed at the time. So it was like no time like the present. And all his men wanted him to do this because he was this great leader, great general, and all this stuff.
They send the pigeon like, hey, Constantine's
the man.
Constantine's dead, but you, Constantine, are now the man.
Exactly. And they wrote him back like, Constantine ain't great. Constantine a bitch. I'm the emperor.
All these pigeons start flying.
They run into each other. This is all facts. You can say this at your party. But the point is that he went around, defeated all these other guys who were challenging the throne because he was very tactical. He had a lot of loyalty from his men. So he's a great leader on the battlefield. But then he proved to be a great leader just in the world in general. He standardized currency at the time in the Roman Empire.
He's the asshole.
Yeah, but he stopped inflation. So we could use a little bit of Constantine right now.
Yeah.
He restructured the military, which essentially just made it more responsive. So there's these little units.
Better pigeons.
Comitatenses and Limitane. You might want to Google that before you go to the party.
Yeah. So he's got commies and
commies and libertarians. Anyway, it just helped. It helped the units be more mobile so that they could quickly respond like foreign attacks, but also quell like internal conflicts. So essentially, it's kind of like our modern military system of just being ultra responsive, being well positioned and garrisoned in particular places. So he essentially
snitches.
No, he just increased the defense of Rome. And finally, he kind of there were some government restructurings that changed how closely civil issues were governed by the military arm of the government. So kind of like a national guard.
You got your judicial system, your executive branch, and the other one.
Yeah, but they were just Coliseums. Anyway, he did all that stuff. So those are big three things: currency, military, defenses, and internal military order, essentially.
So these things, though, when he was like fighting wars and stuff, were these like his brothers or cousins or like just other entities from Rome that were vying for power? Did that?
Yeah, they were definitely within they were within the Roman government.
Yeah.
So
they were all like, I don't know, we already had Constantine the subpar as our ruler. I don't know if this Constantine the Average is really going to cut it. Let's get someone else in here. But then Constantine's like, no.
Yeah.
I'm great, dude.
Yeah.
Great.
So
I want to show them
this
big sword.
Yeah. So Constantine was like touring around, I think, basically saying like, I'm the new emperor, ... And then this Maxentius
tour.
guy was preparing for war. And so he like fortified Italy and then got a bunch of like support from like this new religion called Christianity. And
those assholes.
He was allowing like people to function already, which is funny because that's the fourth thing that you should know Constantine for, was that he introduced Christianity into the Roman Empire. So he kind of like beat Maxentius, kicked him in the teeth, and then he took his playbook and essentially just like incorporated it. So this is quick Velocity Chaos podcast history that I'm just like learning as we go.
That's cool.
But anyway,
I mean, to be someone that pivotal in history, he definitely swayed, like you said, currency. Yeah. We're all using, currencies, all this made up, I don't want to say device, but these made up tokens that control a lot of things in our life, that just regulating it. I mean, that's part of our lives. And then, like you said, parts of government that they have set up. And then, even going forward from that, religion, like how driving religion is, which I'm sure that's a huge cause of wars, but it's
also has the ability to like unite people and create a common language. So like, by introducing like the seat of power in Christianity and putting it in Rome, which is still to this day, like the Vatican being there has become like this central figurehead in religion. So
I believe it was Vatican Constantine at one point.
So so last thing, this is a fun little fact you can throw out there at your party, is he was 65 when he died. So that's pretty good age back then, right? He ruled for 31 years. So 65 when he died, ruled for 31 years. Before we wrap up the segment, I wanted to ask you what you think makes a good ruler.
Big sword.
Perfect.
Yeah. Someone who cares about the people. But also, if they have to make a decision, it affects the least amount of people. Even if it's like, say you got a block and then everyone has to drive all the way around the block. Or we can demolish these two houses in the middle, create a road through. Just be like, I'm sorry that you've lived here. This is for the people. We'll set you up prime time somewhere else. We got to drive this through. It's going to help everyone. And like just making tough calls like that, but like affecting negatively the least amount, but greatest good, just like being able to do that.
I think that's a really good take. I think it's a great take. It's a tough one, and one not often talked about. Because like you said, most people when they talk about leadership, they got to be passionate and compassionate and care about people. But like really being a good leader is about making a hard choice and living with it and like trying to do the best you can. Be solid. So I like that word picture too.
And holding people like accountable. It's like, it's not just not what the leader can do for you, but what you can do for your leader. I mean, the country.
It's a great way to put it. Yeah. I agree with you on both fronts. I think that's probably what made Constantine a great, is that he was able to do that at a massive scale at that time in human history.
I mean, you could say he's got the stuff. And that leads me to my next point, which is the stuff. The stuff has all the goods in it. That's right. It's got the goods, which means it has vitamins, minerals, natural essences, unnatural flavors. It's got it all. The stuff has been safely tested on humans, animals, and probably even aliens. Who knows? They could be out there. The stuff is tried and true. When I'm feeling angry, tired, melancholy, the stuff picks me right up and sends me on my way, feeling even better than ever. Wait. That's probably just withdrawals. But anywho, get 30% off your next shipment of the stuff using code VCPOD30 at checkout. This is not an actual product, service, or idea. Just in case you thought it was, get with the program. It's not. If there is something out there with the same name, we are unaware and have no affiliation and offer no judgment on the actual product, service, or idea. That leads me into what I wanted to talk about today. We have... like we mentioned in the last episode and here in this episode, we have some new segment ideas in order to keep this Velocity Chaos vessel moving forward. or in some direction. It doesn't have to be forward. It could be any backwards. Could be good.
Interdimensional.
Yeah, so many dimensions.
Interdirectional.
Yeah, we have so many
Directional
options.
backwards, inside out.
So this segment was what we call Power Chaos. We're gonna start with the topic.
I'm so amped for this one.
Powerful. I'm gonna ask Nick a question. We're gonna start talking. At any point, DJ autocorrect feels like he wants to hear more about a certain topic that we bring up, he's going to say, I want to hear more about that. So if we're talking about baseball and then we eventually get to, hot dogs. So tell me more about hot dogs. Talking about hot dog eating contests on the board. Oh, let me hear more about boardwalks. Oh yeah. Playing, whatever. We'll get into it. So
you'll learn it as we learn
it. As we learn it, because this is the first time. So let's rip, rattle, and roll.
Power chaos.
So with that, I will kick off the conversation with Nick. What was your first car?
That I owned?
Take it. Just take it. However you want.
It was a Honda HRV. I think it was like a 2005.
Lucky.
I know, right? Well, wow. Yeah, it was. I don't even remember how I got it. I paid for some of it, and I remember I paid it, and I was like, oh yeah, I own the car. My dad's like, congratulations, and I found out later that my dad had paid the rest of the car.
What a nice guy.
Yeah, but I was like, oh, this isn't really my car. No, it was great. It was awesome. So it was kind of a little 4x4. 4 doors, great trunk space. The one thing I liked the most was the mid console. You could pull a little lever and it folded down, so you could put stuff all the way from the back of the trunk.
Good hauling capacity.
Good hauling capacity.
Long 2x4s. And
train
such.
I drove that thing into the ground. Literally, it parts of the car were just falling off, running into the ground, and I had to finally give it up. So,
but you owned it.
I did. Well, yeah. I owned 75%. That was my first car. What was your first car?
Mine, you're the firstborn.
Yeah.
I'm the lastborn.
Okay.
So I'm in the land of hand-me-downs.
Yeah.
The lord of the land of hand-me-downs. So first one I started driving was a 1990 Honda Accord with no power steering, manual transmission, whole shebang. Then after that, got upgraded to a 91. Same thing, same car. But this one had power steering. Then after that, 96 Toyota Camry. Then back down to a 1989 Toyota Camry station wagon.
Wow.
And then the first car I bought, though, was a 2000 Honda Accord manual. So
your forearms were just jacked.
Yeah. I was... manual transmissions, I miss it so much.
Why don't you just buy another one?
If I had money.
What? Man,
they don't make them much anymore.
I guess.
That's the other problem.
Got to be custom cars, I guess.
It's that's the
What
thing.
color was your first car?
First car was blue.
Mine was silver. Like that nice silvery color.
Yeah, I can picture it, that 2005 color.
Terrible, reflective, it's too bright. It's too bright.
Hey, how about you go ahead and tell me more about those hand-me-downs you were talking about?
Oh my God, everything. Clothes, just I got no new clothes except for shoes. Shoes, that's kind of one thing, you got to keep fresh to a degree. I'm not saying I got the fresh, I'm a cheap bastard. So when we would go somewhere, I'm eyeing shoes, what can I get for $5? At the time, you can get shoes for $5-10.
You gotta be careful with shoes, though. The cheaper you go, the worse quality, and as you get older, your feet are really important.
That's the
take
thing.
care of them.
Buy nice or buy twice.
There you go. It's a hard lesson. I learned the same one. Yes. So I was the oldest in my family, but I was one of the younger of 20 grandkids. So I got all of my cousins' hand-me-downs. Thankfully, they shopped really cool, at American.
Oh, you got nice stuff.
Urban Outfitters, American Eagle, all that shit. So that we just get huge bags, trash bags, just dropped off at our house, and those days were great because you're just pulling them apart, just this is mine, and my brother's no, just fighting back and forth over scraps of clothes that were just It's a wonder that I have any style.
See, I got hand-me-down Mark's clothes, and for those of you not in the area, Mark's is just like
there's a Mark's
supermarket.
There's a Mark's equivalent in every city in America. Like it's just that homegrown mom and pop grocery store that has just got like 24 stores, and has never been bought out by like the big chain. Like it's great. It's great. But they sell shitty clothes because they're mostly a produce grocery store.
The best time was Christmas though, because like getting gifts from like grandparents or like aunts and uncles, like you'd get actual clothes, but rest of the year it's like hand me downs, and then maybe beginning of school year, except for like some stuff like polos and stuff that would get handed.
Do you
down
still
to
have
me.
anything that was handed down to you that you just held on to?
It's at my parents. Like I don't know about necessarily now. There was this one like green jacket I had.
Yeah.
And then eventually the sleeves got too short, so we just cut the sleeves off. So it was like this vest with a hood.
I think I've seen that. Is that the one you wore?
I wore it the Frisbee.
Wings of Ignorance? No.
I wore it to Frisbee before.
Nice.
Tell me more about Frisbee.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Frisbee.
Well, I've gotten big into Frisbee right now. The last.
Oh, that's a lesser form of Frisbee.
Yeah, it's a greater. It might not be ultimate, but man, am I enjoying the hell out of disc golf right now.
We're surrounded by discs right now.
You might be able to see my bag and extra dicks
I
over
can
there.
see everything. You got boxes, dicks,
Boxes,
discs.
dicks. But no, man, ultimate Frisbee. That was a thing back in college, and
I started playing in high school, but like totally unorganized. So it was just on a soccer field with a bunch of dudes who had been to like 2 years of community college, and they taught their younger brothers who we were friends with, and we just kind of thought we knew how to play. I will say I learned how to play throw a forehand and a backhand by the time I got to college. And then my first week we went to the sports fair and I met Adam, and then Adam and I lived on the same floor, and then from there the rest is history. Actually, DJ, autocorrect, you got. I wouldn't know him without Ultimate Frisbee.
That's true.
We wouldn't be here right now
met.
probably without Ultimate Frisbee, because we spent 4 years just playing Ultimate Frisbee together. In college.
We went to our first tournament, and I was like, "That guy looks like Shia LaBeouf."
So you guys have known each other for a while.
Looks like Shia LaBeouf.
Tell me more about college.
Unnecessary.
I didn't really do anything in college. Like I went to my classes, slept in my.
You stayed. You didn't go.
I didn't stay down.
Not even 1 year.
Not even 1 year.
Did you ever want to?
No, I'm frugal. So like in hindsight, yes, I would have liked to do it.
That would have been a blast
as an experience. Yes. At the time, I'm like, no, this is a cheaper option. Staying at home.
Got it.
Eating $5 pizza pan every time I went to like.
Bada bing, bada boom.
It was great. It was get a large veggie for like $5-6 or something like that. I would take it in the library, find a nook, sleep.
Yeah,
it was great.
Like I said, I mean, it's all about meeting people, and honestly, those were my biggest takeaways. I mean, there's a lot of knowledge, a lot of things I got exposed to that I think I really appreciated, but mostly it's about people that I run into, and I'm like, oh man, like we're still friends after college, and there's a couple other people. Oh, we just host a podcast.
Strictly business.
We made some cool movies in college too, you and I. So that was the greatest part, was the people.
Yeah.
Some of the profs I still talk to and stuff too, but
definitely networking is.
I think I will say this. I think it's great for networking, but if you're in a trade or an art, it's kind of unnecessary. Unless you get into a big school, like a really good school, it's not really worth it.
I totally agree. Like if I could go back and not do college for a film and digital media degree, I definitely would have skipped it.
Yeah, agreed.
Because I'm not saying the knowledge wasn't good. It was just that like, when I get out into the workforce, none of that mattered, and I'm learning something totally different but applicable as well.
It's just like, imagine taking those 4 years and just getting gigs and just working on stuff.
Yeah,
and like you probably, could have been different. Would have been very different. But like, we might not be here recording this podcast. So
that's true.
I don't regret it. I don't regret it.
Exactly. If I could go back, I would. But do I regret it? No. Not
got it
in the slightest.
Am I going to tell your kids not to go to college?
Yes.
Absolutely.
I'm going to tell my kids not to go to college. Unless they're engineers or something.
Yeah. Then you got to go.
Weirdos.
Tell me more about your jobs, workforce, things like that.
Oh, my job.
Oh, boy. I mean, I kill bugs for a living.
That's pretty cool. I think that's awesome.
It is fun.
Insecticide.
That's right. I'm probably gonna die at like 57 from insecticide poison.
No, is insecticide a real word?
Yeah.
I was using it in the terms of like genocide.
No, you got insecticides, termiticides, herbicides.
Termiticides?
Yeah.
That's real?
Yeah.
What's is there
Don't
just,
put
like,
me
one-
on the spot.
Don't expose how much I know about
Yeah.
this.
Oh, surface level knowledge.
Well, you also do camera stuff. We also
Camera
do
stuff.
we
yeah.
do camera stuff.
Live event camera operating.
I make some movies.
You're,
Here and
you're
there.
a script reader.
Script reader, script producer, script doctor. Yeah, we stay busy. It's a film and digital media though, like you said. At least we're staying in the vein.
Where does your job take you? Mine takes me locally into into cool, like I get to see some cool houses.
Yeah, mostly for my job, we end up doing stuff in the UK right now, so that's kinda cool.
Oh.
We get to travel, but it's not in London, so it's actually really tough. It's like if you flew into Cleveland and then drove to St. Louis and made a movie in St. Louis. That's what it's like in the UK.
So
Yeah.
you drive 14 hours?
Yeah, like it's pretty long. I don't think it's 14, but it feels like that. And so you fly into London, then you got to drive out to the studios. So it's not glamorous, but it's definitely a really cool time.
Yeah.
And good people out there. Meet a lot of cool people.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're going to hopefully find cool people anywhere.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
It's also easy to run into a-holes. But
That kind of comes with the business, though.
I think it comes with the business of being a human, like
Maybe.
just being out there.
That could be.
I think there's jerks in every.
just
My
people
brother's
are-
an engineer, and he works at a big company, and he has to sit next to somebody that's just always up in his business, telling him what to do.
That's
So-
the nature of corporates. The corporations.
Or just being human.
Or being human. Maybe you're just boiling it down to the bare minimum.
I'm just saying that there's good people, bad people everywhere.
Yeah.
So you gotta just
They can
try to be a
kick
good
rocks.
one. Yeah, ignore
What was the golden rule? Be unto
Be
others
yourself.
as you want to be done to you, or something like that.
Do unto others as you would have done to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me more about flights and travel and your experiences with those things.
Have you ever been on a plane?
Once.
I
Well,
was gonna say you've not really been on.
yeah. This was as of recently, actually.
Oh,
Like
nice.
it was just before right after I turned 30. The woman took me. We went to Montreal for a week.
Okay, so you flew up there.
We flew, somewhere into New York or something. Worst flight that I'm guessing ever existed, aside from the ones that.
The one I've been on, it was the worst.
It was turbulence and it's crazy. Like we're coming down and like going up and down as we're landing. It's like, oh my god, we're
That's
dying.
perfect. They did that. They knew that was your first flight,
Yeah.
so they really wanted to
It'll
break
get
you
better.
in. They wanted to break you in.
Yeah.
It's only up from here.
Yeah, 30 years he's missed out on this. Got to get it all in.
I fly a lot. I think I just hit the gold status on American Airlines.
Frequent flyer.
Frequent flyer, man.
What?
And here's the other tip out there. This is for everybody. If you should Google this. You got to check what credit card you have. There's like 5 credit cards that cover your global entry. So you buy it on your credit card and they just reimburse you the $100 or whatever it is to get global entry. So I have a venture card at Capital One. This is not a real plug. I'm just telling you. We are not sponsored, but would be happy if we were sponsored by Capital One. But no, it's true. So whatever, you should Google it. And all of our listeners, you guys should check it out. Break out your wallets. Send us your numbers. We'll do a check for you.
We'll check to see if you have
We'll check
it.
to see if you have it. And if you want, we'll toss you.
We might do some test
$100.
purchases.
Yeah, just to make sure it works. But global entry, man. Because
Dang.
now today's day and age, with transportation being weird and lines being strange and floods happening, people moving into the airport and then like being dead, you never know what you're going to get when you show up. So if you got that global entry, you just get to walk right past everybody.
You hold out your credit card. No. Right here. I got entry.
So it's funny. Somebody was telling me that it's discriminatory. Like somebody was trying to explain that like the airlines are discriminating between the middle class and wealthy people. And I'm like, but if you're a middle class person with a Capital One venture card, then you could just do it. So what's the difference? And it's $100. How do you not $100 for 4 years? So it's $25 a year. Like, come on.
You can't skate
Come
by
on.
on that.
There's no discrimination there. That's just people being lazy and stingy.
Maybe.
How about you guys tell me about wealthy people?
I am one.
Yeah, we're sitting at the table with
A golden table.
golden table. I mean, you have the
We're gonna disagree.
egregiously rich people that just flaunt it, but then you got the people that just are. Are we talking monetarily wealthy?
No, it's spirit. Wealthy in spirit, bro. Dude, I love rich people. I've made up my mind. Just this year, January. Yeah, in January 2022, I made up my mind.
Okay.
I love rich people. I want to be one. Not like gratuitous. I'm not being a bragger, and some people are going to be mad. Oh, that's not very humble. That's like blah, blah, blah. Look, the point is you can't become what you don't like. You can't become the thing that you despise. And a lot of people just don't like rich people just because they have more money than them. And that to me is just a prohibitive factor of you ever growing and prospering. So again, I don't need to be Jeff Bezos. I don't need to be a billionaire who can't spend the money that he makes. But I think it's wrong to turn down prosperity in your life. So that's my soapbox.
If the gold is flowing, I'm going to drink from the fountain.
You should. That's what I'm saying. Like what you deserve it. DJ Autocorrect deserves it.
Yeah.
Our listeners deserve it.
You know who?
If you're out there getting it and working hard and doing it honestly, then you deserve it.
If you're a cool rich person, like when I met Shaq.
Oh, genius.
Like,
there you go.
Just to park his car, he gave me $40 and he was gone for 5 minutes. It was great. Shaq's as cool as hell, it seems.
There you go. There's a perfect example.
Tell me more about parking cars.
Oh, you
never done it.
Sit in the car, drive the car. Look.
What happens next, Luke?
No, that was my first job for 6 years. Turned 18, became a valet, and it was awesome.
What's the corporate ladder like in the valet world?
You got your drivers, then you got your leads that are kind of run the show on the shift, and then you got manager kind of scheduling everyone and stuff.
Okay.
And then you got whatever location you're at as far as whatever.
Do you think it's lucrative to own a valet business?
I would think so. You're charging, I'd say minimum $5 a car.
Yeah.
On average, you might get some places that do $2 or $3 or
right.
But probably $5. If you go to an event, you're looking minimum $20 a car.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, you got to have liability insurance, of course.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because you ding someone's car, get a whole process. But I think making X amount of dollars per car plus tips. I think it would be worth it. The real deal would be though owning a parking garage or a parking
lot. That's
lot.
what I want to do.
Yeah, that's what I say. If I
Parking
go
lot
back
in
in
the city.
time.
The thing that blows my mind in Cleveland, there's just parking lots, but there's not a lot of parking decks.
Yeah.
It's if you just could get a little bit of a loan or whatever and just add 2 more floors, come on, you just tripled your income.
That's the way to go.
I think that might be it. Tailgating is a big deal in Cleveland. So
yeah.
You can't really tailgate. You can't tailgate in a parking deck.
Yeah.
It's too dangerous.
Tell me more about tailgating.
Tailgating's awesome.
You have to explain. I've never been, nor do I
What?
feel
You've
like I
never been
want
to a
be.
tailgate?
Go on.
All right, we're gonna make this happen this year when the Browns go to the Super Bowl. Just kidding. No, we're in Brownstown, so this is a big part of culture here. Go down to the Muni lot, get up at 7 a.m. on a Sunday, drive downtown, get your spot, $25, unpack all your goods, have a great time, drink a lot, pregame, go into the game a little wasted, and just coast through the 4 quarters.
I feel so you're there at 7 a.m. Game's at 1, so that's what.
6 hours.
6 hours. Now you're, eating bratwurst and tossing and
little
pigskin, some cornhole is happening. I'm guessing. I don't know.
Oh yeah, all of it. Flip cup, whatever you want.
All this stuff is happening. So that's 6 hours of standing and partying, presumably in the cold.
No, you go. Don't tailgate in the cold. Tailgate at the end of August, September.
Oh, early season game.
Yeah.
And then, so I mean, still though, you're tired. One, because you got up early, and then now you're kind of like you said, you're already in the bag, and now you got to go to this game where you got 3 hours of cheering and encouragement towards the team. But you feel like
so what you're telling me is you're not a real fan.
Not enough. I'd rather sit on the couch. watch all the nice angles. They got these cool 4K TV or 4K cameras with the focus, the cinema focus. Like,
You make a really good point. You make a really good point. It's really more of an experience. I do it like once a year because it's just, and it's fun to do it with people you know. You don't go down there on your own. Like, you don't go down with two people. Like, you got to make it a big thing. Even if people aren't going to the game, you can invite people over to the tailgate and you can have some beers, hang out, and have a good time. So I definitely vouch for doing tailgating, no matter what city or sport you're looking at.
yeah.
Shoo. I mean, wow, how's that for Power Chaos? How do we do?
I thought that was all right.
Nice. All right.
Roar.
Our DJ, our guide, our guru on this journey
Came out with 7 topics.
Oh,
7
wow.
topics
7.
in under 20 minutes.
Walk us back on the Chaos Road. Walk us back on our journey.
Okay, so we all started out wonderfully with tell me about your first car.
Okay.
Nick had his first HRV, and then obviously you ran with all your manuals.
Yeah.
We moved on down to hand-me-downs. That was an interesting tale. And somehow from hand-me-downs, we ended up on Frisbee and Frisbees, which you two seem to be perfect experts in, which naturally flew right into college. So now that made way too much sense. College, from there, we went into jobs and everybody's first job. And then we went to flights and travel. Okay.
Wow.
And then from flights and travel, oddly enough, ended up at wealthy people. That was a great segment.
I love all these people.
Nick really, really loves wealthy people, as we found
I
out.
like it a lot.
He likes it a lot. And then we went to parking cars. That was a bit of a Luke special, which naturally led into tailgating, and we learned some things there, obviously.
It was a good game.
That was a good one. That was a long journey. That was great. It was brilliant. So brilliant. In fact, it reminded me of that brilliant new game that we've been testing for that brilliant indie game studio downstairs. The new game is totally great and has everything you could want from the new RR technology. That's real reality gaming we're talking about here. It's amazing. You literally feel everything happening in game because it's literally happening to you in reality while you play the new game. I do not recommend getting shot in the first-person shooter section, but the romantic cutscenes are a blast. Ka-chow. Head over to your preferred video game storefront today and use the code VCPODTESTRUN to get the first season beta pass for free. This is not an actual product, service, or idea. Just in case you thought it was, it's not. If there's something out there with the same name, we are unaware and have no affiliation and offer absolutely no judgment on the actual product, service, or idea. Amazing. We're going to go hit some headlines. Clickbait headlines, in fact. I've been looking around, finding some headlines here and there. And in this new segment, the idea and the name of the game is I will give you the headline, Luke. You got to tell me what the article is about.
Oh, boy. First off, I hate clickbait headlines.
This is a perfect game for you.
Yeah, good. Okay.
I also hate clickbait headlines, but for anything for the podcast, buddy.
Yeah.
No, it'll be painless. Actually, some of these are quite fun, pretty informative, and I don't do the ones where it's like, check out these big knockers.
Yeah. You wouldn't imagine what her knockers look like today.
Yeah. It's such a copy paste.
I do imagine.
Yeah,
Let me
I
see.
It's probably nothing like I expect.
I don't even know who she is.
So yeah, these aren't clickbait. These are actually, most of these are NPR headlines. So actually productive. This will be fun. All right. So let me just get quickly set up here. The first one is these mushroom foragers hit the jackpot. Then they got creative.
These mushroom foragers hit the jackpot. Then they got creative. So either they're looking for mushrooms, or what's the other stuff you got the pigs looking for in like Italy? Truffles. Maybe they're looking for truffles too. Something along those lines, possibly. But then they got creative. So that leads me to believe that they stumbled on like a pot farm, and then they started like they didn't just like take everything. They like maybe started picking some from the edges, and then started selling that on their own. Is what I'm gonna go with.
Okay, you got some of it right. I thought you were just gonna go straight for the shrooms, but So this is a story of these guys live up in the California coastline, and they're foragers by trade, which I didn't even know was a trade. But essentially, they just go out into the woods.
Damn
looking
hippies.
they just look for things that are valuable, or that they can eat and consume. And they found like this giant patch of chanterelle mushrooms. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. Chanterelle mushrooms, which are these big, meaty mushrooms that are pretty rare because you can't cultivate them. You can only find them in the wild. This patch that they found netted out like 200 pounds of mushrooms.
Holy Christ.
Yeah.
That's a lot of mushrooms are
That's
light.
a lot of fucking mushrooms. So the one thing with the one guy is starting to claim that he has a nose, that like every time they go out into the woods and he's like, I smell the mushrooms. And his buddy doesn't believe him. He's like, no. And he's like, no, I smell them. He's like, every day I say that, we find mushrooms.
He goes out in the middle of the night and scopes it out, or brings
Exactly.
like a dog. And then,
Exactly. So the crazy thing about these mushrooms, their haul alone, 200 pounds worth, was worth $4,000. So they just like found $4,000 just like out in the woods. And I looked it up. You can get like 2 ounces of these dried mushrooms for $15.
Oh,
So it's a pretty good market for chanterelle mushrooms.
is that what you brought today?
I wish. I wish we found it. We should have done it at the top of the show.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was a pretty solid one.
Okay.
Now we can all be foragers. They posted on Facebook. I should say this. They were nice guys. They posted on Facebook, and some people were like, oh, we'll pay you for some of those. Like, we'll buy some. And they just like shipped them out to the people for free. So, see, hippies can be cool.
Good people. They're good people. They just want to see the world go around.
They just wanna
Love,
see
peace, happiness.
the
That's not a
world
bad way.
burn.
They might not be the wealthiest, but in here.
Wealthy in the heart. All right. Here's our number 2 clickbait headline. Canada taps into strategic reserves to deal with massive shortage.
Okay. Canada. Give me that one more time.
Canada taps into strategic reserves to deal with massive shortage.
Okay, so I'm not thinking it's like water, because I mean they got water everywhere, right?
Yeah, literally
Just
everywhere.
melt the ice.
But yeah,
If you
yeah.
haven't thought of that yet, why not? Massive shortage. I don't want to talk about the thing that the pandemic,
Healthcare.
the health issue going on. So I don't want to say anything about that. But I'm guessing maybe it's some sort of monetary money reserves that they're tapping into.
Close, but not really at all.
I'm glad. I'm glad it's not.
Yeah. Canada has released 50 million pounds of maple syrup from their maple syrup reserves.
Oh, okay.
50 million pounds.
That's a lot of.
So Quebec supplies 70% of the world's maple syrup. I didn't know this.
You ever done a
And-
maple shot?
No.
Me either.
Sounds great. I
DJ
love it.
autocorrect.
DJ autocorrect. Have you done one?
No, I've never done one, but I think that's our next episode.
That'd
We
be
should all do
cool.
a shot of
Yeah.
a maple shot.
Do it. So demand over the last year has jumped 21% for maple syrup around the world. Okay. So with everything, with their supply chains and everything, there's just been this kind of shortage. So they have these giant stores of maple syrup to like make sure the market is properly satisfied. This lady who manages like this house of maple syrup, she goes, "That's why the reserve is made to never miss maple syrup, and we won't miss maple syrup." I said that like not a Canadian, but anyway.
So how much of the reserve was used?
That's a great question. They didn't put that in
Okay.
the article, but like I'm guessing there's got to be at least twice that.
Yeah.
Like, right?
It
They're
would
not
be significant.
It would be significant. The last really fun part of this is the last time they had to bring up this reserve of maple syrup was in 2012. Someone stole 3,000 tons of maple syrup, which was worth $19 million.
I'd imagine. Yeah, you go get a little like pint of syrup and it's like $20.
So we should make Oceans 14.
Yeah.
Knock
Ocean's
off the
3.
Oceans 14 where they knock off the maple syrup reserve. So
Dang.
that was
We only need, what, 6,000 pounds of it?
I know. That was the second clickbait headline that I had for you.
What, you said 3,000 tons.
3,000 tons. I can't imagine how many trucks that would be, right? Like that's got to be a couple dump trucks.
Yeah, how do you pull that off?
Just like into the
3,000 tons, 3,000 pounds, maybe. That's insane. You need
No,
like a
3,000
whole
tons.
team.
It said 3,000 tons.
That's like, was that 60,000 pounds?
And it says
It's a whole
here.
caravan.
It says here that the maple syrup reserves just outside of Quebec City they've been stockpiling maple syrup for 21 years.
That's amazing.
Got to start somewhere.
That's where you like pay somebody like $10,000 to let you jump into a vat of maple syrup. Have you ever gone and tapped maple trees?
No, I've seen at some houses though. Like,
it's actually really fun.
Yeah.
It's a great autumn, great autumn time thing to
that's
do.
the future. Fought 'em.
Yeah, autumn. Great autumn time thing to do. It's a lot of fun, but you can't mess up the taps. Like people get mad at you because like they're metal, and if you're hitting them in and you like bend it and screw it up, then it won't pour out right.
Ruins the drip.
I heard you're not allowed to be a Canadian citizen if you fuck up the taps. Is that
Yeah,
true?
you-
Probably.
Excommunicado.
You're never allowed in again.
Go
all
be
right.
an American.
I got three more for you. Cash scattered across a Southern California freeway sent drivers into a frenzy.
I mean, that almost sounds like a given, or maybe someone was doing like a giveaway, like a Mr. Beast or something, like just was flying over in a helicopter and dropped a duffel bag, or like someone was stealing, robbing a bank, and then then it just exploded.
They were shooting a Michael Bay movie.
Oh.
No. You're right. This one's pretty straightforward. This one's not as much of a clickbait. It's not hard. So I give you this one. You got this one. I think you're 2 for. I'm gonna give you 1.5 out of 3.
Okay, I'll take it.
Essentially, this armored truck just like had a door open or something, and all these bags broke, and so there's just like 1s and 20s, just like they must have just been picking it up from a strip club.
Yeah.
And it just like littered the highway, and all these people just started getting out of their car and caused massive traffic jam, and the cops showed up and were just like, "You better give that back." And some people were like, "Oh yeah, we were."
Yeah, we were
Right?
helping.
We were helping him, right?
And then someone's like, "My car," and then they just walk over with a 20 and put it in their like shirt pocket. You're all right.
But then
It's on me.
2 people got arrested because they were like hiding it like in their pants.
Hey, it becomes it's on the ground.
It's just funny. Like the news is like, you better give the money back because if they track your bills and like they'll find you.
You better don't. You didn't. You're just like looking like a kid stealing like a cookie and like
Just
slowly
right back to
eating
the
it.
strip
Yeah.
club.
Yeah.
We'll never track this.
Just circulating it.
Recirculating it, spreading the wealth. All right, you're 1.5 for 3. Here's another one. Spiders have arachnophobia.
I would too. I mean, is it other spiders thinking other spiders? I mean, that's what it sounds. Or like spiders thinking like they don't like scorpions because scorpions are arachnids to a degree. That maybe that's something like that. I mean, it just sounds like spiders being afraid of spiders. Or
Boom.
something
I'm
like
going
that.
to give you the full point on this one. But the reason I clicked on it was that it's really funny because they took the real spider and they built like this little stage, like a theater, amphitheater thing. And they like the spider's sitting there on this platform and they raise up another fake spider to see if it would like recognize it and run away. And so they 3D printed these little like circles with little eyes on them. And they were trying to recognize, are they just afraid of objects or are they actually afraid of spiders? And so they raised up the little 3D thing, the 3D printed thing, and the spider just looked at it. And they raised up one with like eyes painted on it, and it just looked at it. And they raised up a dead like real spider, and the thing like, I'm out of here,
Okay.
and just like freaked out and ran. So it was just really funny.
Okay.
They put that much work into this study.
Let me tell you. Let me put this in you. See how you react to this. So you're in this room, and there's an elevator, and what you're just standing in this room, and we're gonna raise up just like a mannequin, but like kind of more lifelike, and just raise it up and see what you do. Then we're gonna bring it down. Then we're gonna put some beady little eyes on it. Raise it up. Doesn't say, you're like, hello, anyone? And then we're gonna lower that down, and then we're gonna bring up a dead body. That would be like, I feel like I'd be freaking out more and more each time.
That's true. That's true. Now that you put it that way,
I don't know if it's a good test.
If you put it human terms, I really relate to the spider.
Yeah.
But the spider's just down there thinking like, this is really
You
freaky.
get captured. This is like some Saw stuff.
It was 15 spiders, 15 guy spiders, 15 girl spiders. So
They
yeah,
all-
this is exactly
all
like
freaking
Saw.
out.
Just like dead spiders getting thrown at you. But I also just wanted to know what the purpose of that study was, and they didn't really have one.
Yeah.
They just did
We
it.
just had all these spiders.
Yeah.
Thought that was cool.
All right, so you are how did I do the math? You got the mushroom one.
2.5.
You got the half and half. That was 1, and then you got the highway 1, 2, arachnophobia 3. I'll give you 3.
I don't know if I got the Canadian Reserves one.
You didn't.
No.
All right, so you're
2.5.
You're 2.5 for 4.
Yeah.
So here's the last one. All right. Carmen Mola was a popular Spanish novelist. 3 male writers made her up.
Bet he was. I mean that just sounds like 3 dudes having a podcast, and they're just like, all right, let's just start writing these crazy books, and but I don't know. I don't think 3 writers is gonna sell. Let's just make up a name for our pseudonym, or what do they call a pen name?
Yeah, pen name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you the full point on that one. That's pretty much it. But the crazy thing is, so they wrote 3 books under this woman's name, Carmen Mola, and created a whole profile and a website for her. She was like a literature teacher, 40 years old, lived in Madrid, and like they just published these 3 books with Penguin Random House, like a big publisher, right? These mystery thriller novels that were really popular in Europe. And the 4th book that Carmen Mola wrote was in a competition, this like literary competition. The book won €1 million, so $1.2 million. And these 3 dudes stood up and were like, "That's us."
Who do we pay this? Who do we make this out to?
And then it just all broke. Then like these 3 guys have been writing under this woman's name for she's not real. She's not a real woman that they stole, but they've been writing under her name for 4 years. Isn't that crazy?
Then you got the kid like in class like doing a book report and like. My favorite author is Carmen Mola. She's a librarian in Madrid, and she started writing a book. And then, the next day, and she's gonna be at the awards and then like she's just watching, and then like her whole life is just shattered because she was looking up to Carmen Mola.
Yeah, dude. She never writes again. Yeah, these guys should be ashamed. Or
no, I think it's whatever.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I don't think they should be ashamed. I think look, I've written some Amazon erotica. You just put it out there under a pen name, write some nasty shit, and people buy it.
Some residual income.
Some residual income. Well, you did how many DJ autocorrect? How many do you do on that? How do you do? What do you do? What did I say? 3 out of 4? 3 out of 5?
Yeah, that works. 2.5, 3. 3.5, 2.5.
2.5, 3. Let's call it 3.
We'll call it 3.
Call it a nice round 3.
3 out of 5.
I'll take a 3.
3 out of 5. Good job, Luke. Great job.
Yes.
So, we're going down under for my favorite part of the show, Aussie news. This is a Velocity Chaos tradition we've done for a long time, where we go down to the island nation of Australia and we pick out some news that we like from them. We talk about it for a second or 2. Today,
I'm sorry.
I'm ready. I don't know why you
I'm
laughed.
ready.
It's the didgeridoo. It makes everything better. Australian council to ban cats outside unless they are on a lead. I love this. Fucking love this.
Oh, man. Wait, they canceled the banned cats?
No, they're saying cats are not allowed outside unless they're on a leash.
Okay.
I have been fighting for equality between cats and dogs for decades. I have not, but I think it's fair.
Causing problems.
I think this is totally fair, okay? So the Australian council said, look, all our nature reserves, the cats, these domesticated cats, leave their home at night. They run out into the woods. They kill 3-4 pigeons that are rare and endangered, and then they come home. The problem is
they're just keeping up with the times. You gotta kill a few pigeons to make an egg.
they're like, hey, all you humans are screwing up the planet. Why not? Why can't we have fun too? So yeah, they're making all these cats in a bunch of cities on the I think east coast of Australia. Essentially, your cat's not allowed outside unless it's on a leash.
It's tough to put a cat on a leash, like just having it roam. But I could see cats are assholes. Cats are assholes, but they are also
Free
sweet.
man.
Those who have cats out there, like, cats are awesome, but cats are also assholes. Even the nicest cat is an asshole to a degree.
Secret asshole, closet asshole.
Like they'll go around, they'll fight other cats or stand outside windows, and then cats on the inside get all mad and all that good jazz. So yeah,
Peeping Toms. So this was in Fremantle, Western Australia, but look, I think it's fair because Cats. Why do cats get to have all the fun? Dogs have to walk around and behave. You know what I mean?
Cats are born with better instincts than dogs.
No, come on.
Survival
I will
instincts.
argue that, and all of our dog listeners will argue that to the death. Look, I think it's a smart move, and at the end of the day, it just makes the natural world out there a little more safer.
You're just hoping that a cat is on a leash in the backyard on the runner, and that it just gets the rope wrapped around its neck because you hate cats.
I would love to watch that TikTok.
Oh no.
No. Look, I mean, it is going to be funky to see a bunch of cats roaming around, but it's fair. It's a pet. It's a domesticated animal.
I feel you. Yeah, it makes sense.
I thought you were going to fight me more on this. I do like Gabriel Church Kitten.
He's good.
He's a good cat. He doesn't really bother anybody. But I've met a lot of dick cats in my day.
Yeah. I'm pretty middle of the road when it comes to things. Like, I could see both sides. I mean, I would prefer they, roam, but
I'm trying to egg him on and do an argument. You want to join in on this? You want to jump in on this?
I don't like cats, man. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't be about it. It's
2 versus 1.
I had a whole family of cats that would fight raccoons outside of my apartment.
hey,
for
they're protecting you.
2
See,
weeks.
You know how dirty raccoons are?
The natural order of the raccoon shit.
Messing with the raccoons, man.
Are you going to leave a dog outside so it barks all night? No, you send a cat out there.
That is true. They are the ninjas of the suburban.
The vigilante of the night.
They are the vigilantes of suburban.
Just like, Constantine the Great was, a vigilante of his time. Even though he wasn't really a vigilante, he was the sword layer. He was the one who went around creating the gold standard, the new bar of the Constantine revolution. Even though it wasn't a revolution, he stepped up. And just in life, you should step up, because what are you going to step on? You're going to step on the shoulders of those before you, in the shoes that they gave to you, because that's just the way life is. Just everything that you've gotten is just a hand-me-down, even if it's from the factory. Someone probably put it on before they sent it out. And, rich people are making all their money from all the stuff that you're buying from them, but when you could just go to the thrift store and get some hand-me-downs, because that's not so bad. That's not so bad at all. And when it comes down to it, just get some, go searching for mushrooms, because the maple syrup's about to run out, and we don't got time to be afraid of the spiders, because the spiders are more afraid of spiders than you are afraid of the spiders, okay? And when you're set in a position and you're stealing money on the highways, that's when you and your buddies make up a fake name of who you saw doing it. I'm out. That will be it here for our episode. I'm going to take us into the recommendation station. And what I'm going to recommend is Young Frankenstein, the movie. This is where we recommend, a movie, book, a song, an experience, food. I'm recommending Young Frankenstein, the movie by Mel Brooks. Anything by Mel Brooks, Blazing Saddles, Robin Hood Men in Tights, whatever else is out there. A lot of good stuff. One of my favorite directors, even though I don't know a lot. He's just.
No, I mean, it's good. He's got a
style.
very particular brand. That's a great recommendation.
Yeah, and with Gene Wilder, one of my favorite actors. May they rest in peace. Yeah. So, Young Frankenstein, check it out. And that is it. I would like to thank our producer, soundboard man, the myth, DJ Autocorrect.
Yeah. Thank you for having me out this episode, boys.
Thank you. And
yeah, man. Thank you for jumping in on Power Chaos. That was a great first run.
Yeah.
Had a lot of fun. That's a good one. Thanks, everybody, joining us for episode 29 of the Velocity Chaos podcast. So glad for you joining us for the first time, the middle time, or the last time. Does not matter. Happy to have you. This is Nick signing off.
And don't forget to like us on the social medias, Velocity Chaos Pod on Instagram, Facebook, on the YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, all that jazz. Thank you guys so much. And as we always say, Have your mushrooms with a little bit of maple syrup. We out. Thank you for tuning in to the Velocity Chaos Podcast. We upload new episodes every Monday and Thursday. Be sure to subscribe and rate us on iTunes, Spotify, or your podcast platform of choice. Interact with us on Instagram at Velocity Chaos Pod or on Facebook and YouTube at Velocity Chaos Podcast. We are grateful for your time and hope you enjoyed it here. Please tell a friend, and thank you once again.